good afternoon as we broadcast once again from the Jefferson College Fieldhouse. This is the Jeffco Sports Report on 1400 KJFF, and we're joined by the men's soccer coach at Jefferson College, Coach Steve Peck. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Trying to catch up on a little rest, huh?
Yeah, it was a long week last week, a lot of traveling. It's about 12 hours one way to get down to Tyler, Texas, and we got back about 1 a.m. Monday morning, so it's been a pretty long week, to say the least.
You ended up finishing, I guess, fifth in the nation with the tie on Sunday. And let's start from the beginning when you went down. Everything, the trip down was fine, no problems there, and then the banquet and everything was real nice?
Yeah, the trip down I think went pretty well. The guys got to sleep through most of the trip. When we got into Tyler, it was about 11 a.m. in the morning, so that was nice because it gave us some rest time and relaxation time before we had the banquet. It's a nice banquet. They don't keep you there too long. They try to make sure that they, welcome all the teams and congratulate them. They do our Hall of Fame inductees for the NJCAA soccer, we're addressed by the president of the college where we're at, and some of the officials from the NJCAA, and all the guys are then able to exchange T-shirts after we eat dinner. And, it's a nice ceremony. It takes about an hour and a half, so it's not very long and drawn out. So it kind of gets everybody's juices flowing for the next day to get ready for that first game.
And you took on San Jacinto South in the first round, and unfortunately you dropped a 1-0 game there. Yeah,
that was a heartbreaker. That was a tough game to take a loss in. We outshot the other team 18-5. Shots on goal were 12-4. And they just had a young man, and he received the ball. We didn't clear well. He was about 40 yards out. He dribbled a little bit, looking to pass, and then he just shot the ball. Went through a crowd of people, heading towards the corner. Johnson Barraza, our sophomore goalkeeper, got his hand on it, but saw it so late he just couldn't stop the ball from going in, and it just rolled over the line and into the goal. And I just felt like it was almost an injustice to have a team not really have much build up, not really do a whole lot after about the first 10 minutes of the game to be rewarded with a goal like that. But it's a national tournament, it's the postseason, and things like that happen to good teams all the time. The guys had a couple of balls that got cleared off the line later on in the game. And you're going to hear a lot of fans as the game was 0-0 saying that they didn't think San Jacinto would be able to score a goal on us. They didn't see them mounting a whole lot of offense. I mean, they did a lot the first 10 minutes, and then after that it just kind of tabled off, and we took control of most of the rest of the game. And it was just a shame that we couldn't finish, Jesus Jimenez on a breakaway in the first half with about 25 minutes to go in the half. And, he puts it foot side of the goalkeeper, and the goalie got his foot up and was able to block it. We just didn't have things go our way in that first game like we did last year in the quarterfinals. So, it was a tough loss to take because for me, with this team, I just wanted them to win that first game because I thought if they won the first game, they could calm some of the nerves that I know they had and be able to go out and play. And I thought we were a good matchup for that Georgia perimeter game we would have gotten if we had won our first game, So that was the only disappointment for me. Not that they didn't win another one, because even if they had not won another game but they won the first one, I think it would have been more satisfaction for me getting to the national semifinals with such a young group of freshmen as we had this year, that I think I would have been okay with everything,
How early in the game did San Jacinto score? Was it the first half or the second half when they got
They scored in the second half with about 20 minutes left to go in the game. It was completely against the run of play. It was not something anybody would have expected. Even in the Tyler paper, I think their coach called it a happenstance, something that happened under a given set of circumstances. He shot because he didn't have anything else to do with the ball. And he hit a low, hard shot, and it got past the goalkeeper. It wasn't something, he was probably as surprised as everybody else was that ball actually went in. Even the guy that shot it was surprised that it went in. It was just one of those circumstances that maybe we just weren't supposed to win that first game. We played well enough to win it, we just couldn't score.
And then that took you into the consolation round after that, and you handled the team that you played the second time pretty handily. I guess it was Essex, is that right?
The Community College of Baltimore County, and they have 4 campuses, and the Essex campus was the one that made it. Everybody kind of figured at the national tournament that because they were a long shot to make it, everybody was expecting Lewisburg out of North Carolina to make it, and they upset Lewisburg 1-0, that they would probably most likely be the weakest team that was there. And not that they didn't have some good players, but the team chemistry for them just wasn't there. Even when teams made mistakes, they still couldn't score goals. And we knew that when Georgia Perimeter beat them 3-0 without playing very well, that if we came out and played a decent game, we'd be able to win. I mean, I don't think there was any doubt in my mind or any of the coaching staff's mind that we could win that game. I talked to the guys about making sure that they understood that there was more at stake here than just, oh, we didn't win the championship, who cares if we win this game, because other coaches are still watching. Coaches are assessing whether or not the players on the team were going to give up or if they were going to show up. And, our guys showed up. We scored probably in the first 5 minutes of the game. And, after that, it was pretty much all us. I don't think they recorded one shot on goal the entire game.
Wow. You shut them down, apparently.
Yeah.
Wow, that was something. Well, that obviously energized the kids, I guess, a little bit. You go down there, knowing you're playing now for a place, and you got to be happy with that. And you came out Sunday morning and faced a team that you knew pretty well in Illinois Central. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the team that you played last year in the first round of Nationals and in the regular season a year ago? Yes.
We played them to a 1-0 game that we won in the regular season, and then when we got to Nationals, we beat them 3-1. It was an interesting game because I think at one point we had, when we got up by 2 goals as the first half was winding down, they were about ready to be done. If we had scored a third goal, I think they would have just cashed it in and, maybe looked to not get embarrassed too bad and just have that be it. It was a 9 a.m. game in the morning, and for college players, it's pretty rough to get them up at 9 or before 9, because we actually ate breakfast around 6:30 and then get them prepared to play at 9 o'clock. That's something they did when they were U14, U15. So early, not necessarily the best thing in the world, but we were playing well, and then freshman goalkeeper Derek, he made one mistake the entire first half. He dove out to catch a ball and ended up dropping it somehow, and one of their guys got the ball, collected it, looked at the goal, and then he fired near post and was able to score, and it made it 2-1, gave them some life, energized them. They came out playing really well in the second half, and I would say with about 15, 20 minutes to go, they were able to get another goal off of a missed played ball by us in the back to make it 2-2, and then that score pretty much just stood up from there. I think the fact that they had enough heart and enough desire to come back and try to score that goal and win the game, kind of showed the mentality that the kids have at this national tournament, because, when you can't win it all, you're out of it, a lot of teams just kind of cave in and go home. But, both of these teams really showed up, really wanted to compete against one another that day, and really just wanted to establish that, they are good programs, they are good teams, and that they both deserve to be there.
Well, that finished in a 2-2 tie. Did you even go to an overtime session with that game, or did you just stay like that?
No, typically with the 5th, 6th place and the 3rd, 4th place game, they say there's no overtime, no PKs, none of that. You just be named co-champs, or you'll both be 5th place or both be 3rd place in those respective games. But in the championship game, it has to go to overtime, it has to go to PKs, all that kind of stuff. So
sure, that makes sense. Well, how would you assess the season in general? I mean, 19-4-1 is obviously something to be very proud of, and finishing 5th in the country. And like you said earlier, with a lot of freshmen, that I think it says a lot.
Yeah, and like I've said earlier, the fact that I had some dedicated assistant coaches that were willing to do a little bit of extra training with our players, to try and help them turn the corner a lot quicker than they probably would have otherwise. That helped a lot because the additional training that those guys got helped them to learn, to understand how to play their position in college and not just go out and stand in that position and just play and be better than other teams. And it got them to a point where they had a lot of confidence in their ability to play at the college level. And, you're only looking at a 45-minute session extra once a week, but when you're focusing just on their position, just on the things they need to know, it makes a big difference in the way that they're going to be able to come out and play with some confidence. And I think that helped us a lot with the younger group of guys that we had. And when the older guys were able to come and train with them as well and offer up advice to them about things that they do or how they prepare themselves to be able to play that similar position, I think it helped the younger players a lot to be able to get not just that advice from the coaches, but that experience from the older players and the sophomores that they came to play with when they came to Jefferson.
And of course, with any season ending, obviously there's a lot of sophomores that played their last games for you. And you had a good group of guys, obviously, there. A lot of guys that were very instrumental in what was accomplished in '06.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, players like Anthony Bradshaw, Jonathan Barraza, Marcus Amorum, Danielle Stabile, Brady Weinhold, Hassan Abraham, Claudio Dantes. They were very, very instrumental in a lot of things that happened last year as well as what happened this year. You can't forget the guys that come out and put in a lot of hard work, even though they might not get the minutes that they want. But John Foff played a lot of minutes for us at the national tournament when we had a lot of injuries and things happen to us. Jonathan Ebanks, he played good minutes for us and was an unselfish player for us and pretty much played wherever we asked him to play. And a lot of those sophomores, David Level included, just wanted the team to be successful and wanted the team to win. And whatever it took for that to happen, they were on board. And when you have a group of guys that are unselfish like that and a group of guys that are willing to do whatever it takes for the team to win, it makes it a lot easier on you as a coach to know that the decisions you make are being supported by those guys that just want to come out and have a quality season, a quality team, and be able to win the games that we're supposed to win and even some that people don't think we should.
Well, these guys have put together pretty good resumes, too, when you look at it. The 2 years they spent here, to the Nationals twice, and a national championship, and obviously some good opportunities are going to come for a lot of these kids.
Yeah, and a lot of coaches at Nationals, they're like, I hear you call people back. I'm going to be calling you next week to get in touch with you, or I'm going to call you after Thanksgiving. Some coaches wanted to fly kids out to visit campuses after Thanksgiving, try to get them in early, see if they can get some early commitments from the kids. So, I think for a lot of them, they're going to have some tough choices to make about what schools they want to go to. Because once again, you're talking about schools from one side of the country to the other that are interested in having these young men come there to be able to finish their education and finish their playing careers in college. And you have some guys that, they may make decisions to stay more locally, and that's just a decision they're making. It's not like they won't have options to go other places. So, I think they've done a great service to themselves over the 2 years that they've been here. And like I always tell them, when you come in and you play for the team, everything else will take care of itself. Those players that come in and play for themselves, those are the individuals that don't typically end up getting what they want out of their college careers, because it's a team sport and coaches are more interested in team players, both in the classroom and on the field. So these guys definitely have lived up to that.
Claudio Dantes is probably one of those kids that's going to be very highly recruited, I would think, for his last 2 years. He was an All-American last year, probably will be again this year. Guy can score, the guy can pass. He's without a doubt a force.
Yeah, I mean, Claudio exemplifies a lot of the things that that group that graduated in last spring or this past spring in '07. What they were all about, that they were very directed. They understood very well what I was telling them when they first came into this program about academics being first. I know they can already play the game. That was part of the reason I brought them here, but I wanted to give them a chance to be able to realize their own dreams and play at that Division I 4-year school or Division II 4-year school, because we had some guys that decided to do that over going D1. And put themselves in a position where they'd be happy with their next 2 years, be able to graduate. And if they ever go on and play after they finish school, that's just a bonus out of the whole situation. and that's his mentality. You know, he wants to get his degree, and every coach that I've talked to, I've told him, you know, that's his deal. You know, he's not looking to leave early. He's not worried about trying to go pro. He's just worried about trying to finish his degree and trying to contribute to the team in the way that he's expected to. So, you know, that's something that I feel is a very mature attitude from a young man, and Claudio has it.
What about the returning freshmen that'll be sophomores next year? Obviously, they gained a lot of great experience this year, and there should be some highly, you know, touted kids in that group that should be leaders next season.
Yeah, Derek Santos will be a fantastic sophomore goalkeeper for us next year. He got to play a lot of minutes this year for us when I could split time between him and Jonathan. There were some games where Jonathan's experience was needed more so than others. But when I look at John Heine, the young man from Dublin, Ireland, that came in and played central defender at the 11th hour for us, and I look at Santiago Mondragon and Kinley Matherin that started in the midfield for us. When I look at people like Evan Stawinski that came off the bench for us and was able to be extremely productive for us, and he learned a lot this year. When I look at Jesus Jimenez and Shadi Harb, those individuals are people who came in and contributed right away this year. We did score 97 goals this year. A little drop from the 103 we scored last year, but you know, it's a situation where all of those freshmen came in and contributed well this year, and I expect no less next year from them. I know that those individuals did themselves a service by making it to nationals or helping this team make it to nationals where they were seen, because there's a lot of coaches, once again, buzzing about our freshmen and players that are freshmen that are returning here next year that they'd like to have in their programs the year after. So yeah, I mean, every year that we're able to have a successful season and make it to national, the freshmen benefit in this program as much as the sophomores do.
Yeah, absolutely. What about your recruiting situation right now? When can you take letters of intent and things like that? Is that in the spring, or is that in the winter, or is it coming up soon?
Actually, December 1st.
December 1st,
That
okay.
is the signing date for fall sports, is December 1st. And, you know, we've been talking to quite a few young men in the county, in the St. Louis area, outside of the state, from other countries, trying to see what positions we need to cover for next year, what positions we need guys that we think have to be able to start, what positions we need guys that we've got to be able to depend on to come off the bench and give us, you know, 15, 20 minutes a half. And we've gotten some good response both locally and within the St. Louis area. So I think next year's team will be pretty loaded with talent. I'm envisioning that if the kids hold true to what they've told us about coming here, that probably half our roster will probably be from the state of Missouri next year. And you know, these are young men that probably are being overlooked by a lot of four-year colleges and universities, and I think it's their loss, because these young men are actually very, very good players, and unfortunately maybe they're in the wrong high school situation for their particular talents. But you know, as far as we're concerned, they're players we know can come in here and help us next year.
Excellent. So that'll be coming up before too long. December 1st is your signing date, so that's a week away.
Yes.
So that's good though.
Yeah.
And then you'll really be able to put some things together on paper and see what this team could look like next year at this time.
Yeah, and you know, that's part of the reason why we start so early with the recruiting. I know a lot of junior college coaches feel like they got to wait for all these kids that want to go D1 and have D1 talent to actually fall through the cracks first. I've always been more proactive than that. I've always felt like you go after the kids that you want. You let the kids tell you that they're going to go here or do this or do that. Don't let rumors about what a kid's talent is dictate, because some kids aren't comfortable running off to a big school. I mean, take Jesus, for instance. He had 3 Division I offers, but he didn't want to go to a big university, big college, any of that kind of stuff. He wanted to go to a small environment like we provide here at Jefferson, be able to get his feet wet and establish himself academically, and then move on to a 4-year school. And that was his choice. You know, I mean, it wasn't a situation where we tried to talk him into anything. And so these young men that are making this decision to come here, they're looking at the situation. They're looking at the academic advising that we have that's dedicated to our student athletes and Jason Gardner. They're looking at the number of young men that have left here and gone to universities and colleges throughout the United States over the last 2 years. And of course, they're looking at the success that we've had as a program, being only 3 years old and already having been to nationals 3 times and won a championship. And they feel like that's success that if they can come in and we feel they're going to be major contributors to, will help them actually get to where they want to be. And, you know, for me and for my coaching staff, that's what it's all about. It's not about stopping kids from going to 4-year schools in order to go to your school. It's about helping those that are not getting looked at by the schools you feel that they should be going to, get looked at by those schools and be able to move on to those schools maybe a year or 2 years after graduating from high school.
Coach, thanks a lot for the time today. Congratulations on another great year, 5th place in the nation. Nothing wrong with that.
No. Any trip you make to nationals is a good trip. So you have to take that and know that every year you can't win a championship. So, you know, I think the guys are a little disappointed in some respects because they felt like had they played better that first game, who knows what would have happened. But, you know, all in all, very successful year. 40 wins in 2 years, I don't think it's anything to sneeze at when you only play 26 games a year. So
that's very true. Thanks again, Coach.
All right.
That's
you.
Steve Peck, head coach of the men's soccer team here at Jefferson College. We've got more ahead. We're back in a moment with more from the field house. This is the Jeffco Sports Report on KJFF.
You may not know their names, but the students who are helped through a Jefferson College Foundation scholarship carry thanks in their hearts. It's for the kindness that our contributors have shown. Make a difference in their tomorrows.
Education, the great equalizer. It doesn't just mean you get more knowledge, it means you improve your quality of life.
Give to the Jefferson College Foundation today.
And we're back on the show. This is the Jefferson College Sports Report on 1400 KJFF. And we're joined by the assistant coach with the women's basketball program, Doc Carranza, who, of course, a lot of people know throughout the area, former coach at Grandview and Windsor, and second year on the staff here with the Jeffco Vikings. And you guys are off to a great start.
Yeah, we're not doing too bad. 6-0. So, you hope you can keep that up, but who knows what's going to happen. So.
Well, with the schedule that you guys have, I'm sure any victory you get, in this part of the season especially, you'll just take it as a gift because it's loaded, and you guys are going to face a lot of teams from a lot of different areas.
Oh yeah. You do that. You want to hit the best you can, early on here, and we've got a real good region and conference. And so it all kind of works up to, trying to get the Nationals. So.
Well, since last time we spoke with everyone, it was right before you guys had the big weekend, 3 games in 3 days. And you guys came out of it with 3 victories, including a big win over Swick on Sunday, beating them at their place, which was huge.
Yeah, that was big. We've played them already once, the first game of the season, and just won by 1. And going over there, I think they felt they had a chance, and they, it was a good game, very good game.
Pretty much close throughout for the most part? Was it just a fight from beginning to end?
Yeah, kinda. We'd be up by about 8, and then they get back within at least 1 or tie it, and then we go back up by 8 or 7, and then they come back, and it was seesaw back and forth. But we were up by, I think we were ahead at halftime, and just kind of went back and forth from there, and kind of took control probably toward the end.
Now, prior to that, on Saturday, you guys handled Kaskaskia pretty good, beat them by about 40. Once again, was it one of those games where maybe close early and then you just took off on them, or what?
Yeah, it was like that. We shot pretty well, and we did a lot of right things. And though we're still young, still going to make some mistakes, but kept the mistakes down to a minimum and played pretty well.
And I know Coach Emmerich was pretty pleased with the win over Kansas City Community College. That was a very, very tough, very athletic team.
Yeah, they were big. They were big. Had some real good players. Had a girl out of Oakville that I remember seeing some couple years ago, and she was hot. She was happy to be home, I could tell. And I don't know how many she had, but she looked like she was getting the ball inside and just kind of scoring at will sometimes.
I guess that's how they do it when they have those homecomings, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Well, so you're 6-0. You got 2 wins over Swick. You've beaten South Suburban, Olney, Kansas City Community College, and Kaskaskia now. And this leads you right into another busy weekend, Friday, Saturday, and then Monday.
Yep.
So no rest for the holiday weekend, I guess, coming up for the team.
No. We'll have our turkey on Thursday and be out on the road on Friday. So it's going to be, it's a test. You know, Coach Emmerich said, told him it was going to be a test, these 2 weekends. And even the next weekend, after Thanksgiving is going to be even another big one in Vincennes. So.
And a little bit of traveling too. Vincennes in Indiana. Blackhawk, of course, is up near Chicago. So a couple of road trips, but it brings out usually the best and maybe at times the worst of your team.
Oh yeah. We play pretty. I feel we play pretty well on the road. I mean, we look kind of better, not better away, but we play up to what we do at home. So. On the road.
Well, it's one of those things where you better be good on the road because you're on the road, it seems like, from now until the middle of December. So you better be ready for it.
Yeah, we got getting back at us for last year's schedule. We're home most of the time.
Now you're road warriors, and so far so good with that.
Yeah.
And I guess this past weekend probably was just really the first big test. I mean, not only were you playing some pretty good competition, having to play Swick again at their place, but they're all road games and they're all back-to-back. It really finds out. It teaches you and the team exactly where you're at as far as conditioning.
Oh, yeah.
When you have to play 3 games in 3 days.
Yeah, you've got to, not that you pace yourself, but, you've got to be in condition to go, the full time. And luckily we've got, 10 and we can, shuttle them in and out and sub and everybody is able to play and we haven't hit the injury bug or anything like that. So if we don't jinx us, but, we've steered clear of that and so we can shuttle them in and out, give them a little rest, and be able to go.
Now, this year's team, of course, is obviously totally different from last year. You guys were spoiled last year with a lot of sophomores.
Yeah.
So you already had a lot of experienced kids. You had some shooters, too. Brought in some kids that really turned out to be excellent players. And, of course, some of those kids have gone on to play Division I now and everything. Yeah. This year's team, obviously very young. Dominique Ivory is the only returning player. 9 freshmen. So it's been kind of, a learning process, not just for the kids, but I'm sure for you and the rest of the coaches.
Oh, yeah. You kind of got to be not easy with them, but, you've got to take their time. Their introduction, their first time in college, college ball, so they're juggling not only basketball, but they're juggling schoolwork and being away from home and all those things. So you kind of got to juggle all that. So they've got a lot hitting them. There's a lot of stuff coming at them, so you've got to kind of watch it, and you don't want to kind of burn them out, I guess. You could say.
That's exactly right. I mean, I guess you got to kind of take little steps, and then eventually you could take larger steps and then huge steps.
Yeah. I mean, and I tell you, it's a learning process for me too of seeing how to handle those kind of players. In high school you've only got them for a couple hours of practice, and you ship them home. So here you've got them for a longer period, and you see that. It's a toll and it's tough on them, and it wears them down, mostly mentally. So.
Well, looking at the numbers so far this year, every player on the team has played in every game so far. All 10 of them have played in all 6, and obviously some have been producing pretty well. Danielle Adams, 21.5 points and 12 boards a game. You'll take double from her each and every time, right?
Yeah. Yep. But. You like to have everything surrounding her too. I mean, she's not the whole team, but you want balance. You want balance around her.
And she's shooting 81% from the free throw line. And for as often as she is going to be at the line, that's going to be an excellent number throughout the year.
Yeah. She's, they're going to have to, try to hold her out, and she's a force inside too. I mean, she can shoot outside, but she can take inside, and she's going to get a lot of fouls going to the basket.
You also have two other players right now averaging in double figures. LaToya Johnson, I was real impressed with her the first time I saw her on that opener. She is a dynamic player. She's solid. She can do a lot of things.
Yeah, she had a good weekend too. I mean, she played very well against, let's see, who was it, Kaskaskia in that game, and also did a pretty good game against KCK. Kind of held us together there.
She's averaging 15.6 points a game at the moment, and also 5.5 assists per game. So those are good numbers for a point.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And looking at someone else I know who caught fire recently in one of your victories was Melanie McCrite. She all of a sudden caught fire from beyond the three-point arc. She's averaging about 10 points a game right now, and despite not playing a ton of minutes, but she's making the most of when she's in there.
Yeah, I guess quality minutes. You can call those quality minutes.
That's safe to say.
Yeah, she, I think the first game she didn't, play probably her best and didn't see a lot of time, but I think now she's kind of acclimated herself and understood her, her role, and she came off and hit some shots that, really helped us.
And one thing that you've been doing is working with the post kids. And obviously this year's team in the post is a lot different from last year. Sure, it's all younger and they're all learning a little bit, but there's some of the kids that really comes natural to them.
Yeah. They come in with, some idea. It's a little different than high school ball. You've got to be more physical. You've got to be able to hold your ground. You get pushed out a lot more, and it's not more rougher. And so you've got to kind of get them ready for that. You tell them all the time that, okay, you're going to be hit, and you've got to hold it and chin the ball so they don't slap it away. But until they get out there and really get after it, and in games, they don't really realize that.
Of course, you've been working with Diana Voinova. She's one of those kids that comes to the team. It's off to a pretty good start too, and of course, with her being a kid that played overseas, she is really trying to learn the American style a little bit, which there's a big difference there.
Oh yeah, there is. Our game's a little bit faster, though she runs the floor really well. A lot of the big girls that you see won't run the floor very well. They'll be slow, kind of sluggish, but she gets out and she can run. She can lead the break if she has to, and so she gets out and runs pretty well. So we're happy about that. But it is a totally different game.
Lindsay Rhodes has been doing a great job for you as well, the young lady out of St. Genevieve, and she had I think a double-figure rebounding game not too long ago.
Yeah, she's been coming off, and again, like quality minutes, and really a force on the board. You're going to get the ball inside to her, and she's gonna score, or she's going to get fouled and go to the line. So she's been playing really well.
Now, from your vantage point as an assistant coach, what do you look for in games? I mean, what does Kevin have you specifically looking at? Or is there anything, or is it just one of those things everybody's kind of looking at the same thing? You look at it one way, Kevin looks at it a different way, Juanico looks at it a different way.
We all watch the same thing, but we're all different, kind of viewpoints of it. Kevin looked at the whole game in general. Juanico looking at the guards. Anna's kind of looking at the guards and kind of the forwards, and I've got the post, and I also look kind of defensively, seeing that I keep the shot chart of where they're getting their shots from, and so we can adjust and we can see, and if we have to not overplay, but see if we have to, play somebody a little bit different to keep them from getting open looks. So
this weekend, going up to Chicago, how's that going to go down, do you think? Going to be rough? I guess facing these two teams, I mean, Blackhawk you played last year, of course, in Nationals. But Carl Sandberg, I'm sure trying to get information on that team's probably been maybe a little bit tough.
Yeah, they've been a pretty decent team over the years. And this year, probably the word is they're a little down, but you don't know what little down is to most teams. So they could be still pretty good. But like you said, Blackhawk East we saw last year in the tournament, and they're a very disciplined team. They set a lot of screens. They'll come off a lot of screens and shoot. They really work the ball and move the ball around. And ICC is kind of the same way. Somebody was saying that they probably haven't lost a game at home in probably about 6 years. So when you go up there and play at their place, it's pretty tough. So it's going to be interesting, really see how we do up there and how we come out and play.
That's definitely a big test for you, and a good game to have on your schedule, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for the time. Have a good holiday coming up.
Oh, you too. You too.
That's Doc Carranza. He's the assistant coach with the Jefferson College women's basketball team, joining us as we close out this edition of the Jefferson College Sports Report on 1400 KJFF.
Welcome to Automotive Technology at Jefferson College, where students learn important industry skills every day.
I'm really interested in automotive, pursuing it as a career. Jefferson College has all the great tools, books, everything you're going to need in your career. Their instructors are great, and it is really interesting learning different parts of the car.
Jefferson College offers outstanding instructors teaching in state-of-the-art classrooms. The automotive shop area has the latest in precision tools.
I believe one of the strongest parts of our program for Jefferson College students is we do not let the student leave until they understand the processes involved. We work with the students one-on-one until they are comfortable enough in the knowledge they have and the skill level that they have that they can perform at industry level.
Instruction includes brake jobs, machining drum and rotor, tune-ups, engine repair, cylinder head work, wheel alignment, and electrical work.
I was very impressed with the professors here. I talked to both of them. They were very awesome. I like the fact that the campus is very close to home and it's affordable. And the employers that I talked to were very impressed with Jefferson College students.
Jefferson College graduates get jobs in their field. The Automotive Technology Department has a 95% success ratio with graduates working at many companies throughout the area.
What the employer was looking for was people with fresh minds that know the new technology and all those things I learned here at Jefferson College.
Discover your future with automotive technology at Jefferson College.